No phone. Okay, Kadam. Countdown start.
Hello, everyone. Series of lives that we're doing from our in-house studio, and we do this once every fortnight, so once every 2 weeks, and it's basically to let you know the kind of amazing work that goes on here at Factory in the various teams that we have here. Before we proceed with the fortnightly updates, very quickly, our memberships are live on our YouTube channel. There's that little join button next to our channel name. So do consider joining. The perks are, of course, priority responses to your comments and a bunch of exclusive emojis that you have access to that you can use in your interactions with us on our YouTube channel. So definitely consider doing that. We're very happy that we've been having a steady stream of members trickling in. And with that said, please do leave your questions in the live chat to the side of your screen, and we will try our best to take them towards the end of the live or in between as may be applicable. And if not, just leave your questions for us in comments on our videos, on our social media posts. We are at Factory India across platforms, and DM us on social media. All of these are great ways for you to get in touch with us. Now we'll get into the fortnightly update, and the first team that I'm talking to is the newsroom. The representative here is Pavitra. Hi, Pavitra. Welcome back to the Factory Digest. So, I think Indian media has been so full of so many kinds of reports about the women's reservation bill, something that your team has also produced a few important stories about. But before we get into that, I think it's important to first get in a word about the bill itself. So, give our viewers a brief sketch of the law itself.
Okay, so the bill was passed, in the recently in the special parliament session that was held like last month, and almost both the houses, it was kind of almost unanimously passed. So the bill calls for reserving 33% of the seats, or like one third of the seats in the Lok Sabha and the state legislative assemblies for women, even in the seats reserved for the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe representatives. And, in order to ensure women are properly represented in the parliament, and it will come into effect after the 2021 census is released and the limitation. So this is what the bill proposes, and it was passed. Yeah.
Okay. So, what kind of trends could you glean from the data that you analyzed? Let's begin with the Lok Sabha.
Yeah. So in the Lok Sabha, like we refer to the Women and Men in India report, and which revealed that, I mean, in that data is available only since the second Lok Sabha. Okay. So in the 1957 Lok Sabha, there were like 27 women MPs in the Lok Sabha, in the parliament, and in the latest 17th Lok Sabha, the 2019 Lok Sabha, there are like 78 women MPs in the parliament. That's like almost a 3 times increase like, over the years. And we also saw that the share of women MPs, like out of the total, it was again 5 to 6% in the 1957 Lok Sabha, and it has now increased to 14.4%, like in the latest Lok Sabha. But again, it is just 14.4% representation for women that make up 50% of the population. So yeah, and in fact, like we also looked into the participation of women in elections. How many contested. We also saw those numbers, and we found that in the 1957 elections there were only 45 candidates, Whereas in the 2019 elections, there are there was 729 candidates. So again, I mean 724. So this is again like a 16 times increase in the number of candidates. Whereas in the case of men, it has increased from say some 1400 to like almost 7300 against. Then you say it's just like a 5 times increase, but you see the numbers, there's a huge difference. Then we also saw how many women, one out of all the total number of women candidates, like which we calculated as a winning share. So in that we again saw that in the 1957 elections, 60% of the women who contested won. And in the subsequent elections, in the 1962 elections, again 50% of the women who participated won. And that time for men it was just like 24%. And in 1984 again, it was like roughly 3 times that of men. The winning share for men was so it's like, I mean, overall throughout the years it has been that the for women the winning share has been more, which also kind of means that the seats that were allocated to women were strategically found where they had higher chances of winning. So that could be one reason. Then in the last three Lok Sabha elections, that is the 2009, 2014, and 2019, we saw that the winning share has reduced. Like only 6% men won and 10% women. So these were roughly the trends that we observed.
Right. And what does women's representation in our state assemblies look like?
So state assemblies, what we did was we considered the latest election that had taken place in each of the states. And the data was as of 2022. Again, this data we had taken it from our own data full portal, and we saw that the percentage of women candidates in each state, it ranged from less than 3% in Nagaland to about 12% in Uttar Pradesh. That was the highest. And only like about 9 states and union territories had more than 10% candidates as women. Then so again, in spite of women such a high participation, I mean comparatively higher participation, like we could see that the representation in the assemblies was low. That is the number of women MLAs. The share was low. So it's like none of the states had even at least 15% seats won by women. And the highest was for Chhattisgarh, which was about like 14.4% or so. And even like the states of Bihar, Jharkhand, Rajasthan, like they had a higher share of women MLAs compared to other states. Though like these are the states that lag behind in gender related social indicators. Yeah, so this was one interesting trend that we observed. And so ultimately the bill, it's the implementation that's going to matter. Right? We'll have to see whether the representation is worth it. Because, I mean, it's high time like women take part in the decision making process.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially on laws concerning women, it's been a long time where it's men who take all the decisions. All right. Thank you so much for that update, Pavitra. We will move on to the next team in just a few moments. Before that, I would like to quickly remind our viewers that our memberships are live. Do consider joining the memberships. And also, very importantly, please do ask us your questions in the live chat, and we will take them towards the end of this live. And if not, just ask us your questions anyway through comments on our videos and through DMs on social media, comments on our social media posts. We are at Factly India across platforms, and our website is factly.in. And also, to the point that Pavitra made about Dataful, our Dataful subscriptions are live. So definitely consider taking that subscription if you're someone who works with public data on India. There are also a few free data sets, so you can sample it before you take the membership. Okay. So that said, we are moving on to the next set of updates, which is from the fact check team. And joining me for the first time on the Factory Digest is Sushmita. Hi, Sushmita.
Hi, Parvati.
Welcome to the Factory Digest. And so I think, yeah, very quickly to get into the update, because there is a lot also from the fact check side of things. The dominant theme in the news over the past few days has without doubt been the Israel Palestine conflict. And we've seen this earlier, with the Russia Ukraine war, for example, that this kind of massive conflict is inevitably followed by a slew of misinformation. So, what kind of claims have you and your team debunked in this regard?
Yeah. As we know, last time our team member Harsha was talking about misinformation that was surrounding the events like wars and natural calamities. So now that the world focus is on Israel and Palestine issue, we came across a lot of misinformation pertaining to the same. So, as far as this issue is concerned, there are mainly three types of misinformations that we can categorize into. Number one being sharing old videos. Number two is that the unrelated videos are being shared, and also the gaming videos are being shared. So when we talk about them in detail, uh, yeah, for example, old visuals of Israel's airstrike on Gaza were shared as a present event.
Yeah.
So, and apart from that, unrelated videos of Syrian rebels taking control over a city were shared as Palestinian militants taking control over Israel's headquarters.
Right.
And interestingly, like I mentioned, gaming videos are also being shared as a real videos. A clip from a video game was shared as militants shooting down Israel's helicopter. So, yeah, this is, you know, debunking misinformation regarding this issue is very important because obviously, it this kind of misinformation not just infuses violence amongst those two countries, but also affects communities living in other countries as well.
True. Yeah, absolutely. And especially, I think, with this kind of an issue with Israel and Palestine, across the globe, there are people who are supporting very ardently either side, despite never having lived there. But even apart from the Israel situation, the past fortnight has been quite eventful with the Men's Cricket World Cup, which has begun and is in progress, and the Asian Games that got over on 8th October, and many other such events. So, what kind of claims did you tackle on these fronts?
Yeah, over a past month, apart from the issue that we have just discussed, there was misinformation pertaining to events such as ICC Cricket World Cup and Asian Games as well. Apart from that, there are events misinformation regarding festivals like Ganesh Chaturthi and Miladunabi. And most importantly, there are also misinformation. The claims that are being circulated around the Indo-Canadian diplomatic issues and connecting this issue with Khalistan issue. And we also debunked some claims regarding government policies in different states.
Uh, just for those of you who are into cricket and the World Cup, the kind of posts that have come out have been really silly at times. There has been a video of Kapil Dev apparently being kidnapped, which is just from an ad campaign, and Virat Kohli welcoming the Pakistan cricket team to his home for a party and that sort of thing. So. You may think that these things are harmless and that they don't have any impact on the in real time, but it just, as a society, it's dumbing us down. So that is always our point when we highlight such posts and we say, don't share such things, and in fact correct people who do. All right. So another big source of potential misinformation is, of course, the elections that are coming up in 5 states in India. And in fact, the Election Commission of India announced the polling dates for these 5 states just 3 days ago. And I'm sure that you and your team, you're all prepared to handle the kind of fake, and there are going to be heaps of fake claims around elections that probably have already begun. So, what would you like to tell our viewers about such posts? So, what are the kind of red flags that they should look out for, and how can they stay immune to such viral claims?
Yeah. So now that the election commission has already announced the dates regarding the elections in 5 states, we have already, we are coming across the all kinds of misinformation and disinformation regarding the politics. So the tactics that we came across till date are sharing clip videos, um, presenting videos out of context, and apart from that, people are also sharing, distributing misleading data, and also they are. We came across the claims which are attributing unrelated statements to specific political party or an individual related to the same. So yeah, apart from this, importantly, circulating fake or outdated opinion polls and statistics has also been a regular thing now. So now that the environment is going to get really politically charged, and it
Yeah.
is going to continue for the next few months, we appeal people to be very careful with what you share on social media, and most importantly, police officers are also being very poised in taking action against those who spread this kind of misinformation. We advise people to always share information after verifying it, only and share it only if you have credible sources of information. So yeah, in case there are any doubts or queries, you can always you know mm, share your query on our WhatsApp hotline
Yeah.
number. uh, we'll verify the information and share the feedback.
Absolutely. So, definitely look out for these kind of posts, and like Sushmita said, the police are also very cautious at the moment and looking out for such things, and you definitely do not want to be caught in that web. So I think we don't have any questions from our audience, which is completely all right. Like I said, reach out to us through the many platforms, and we'll get back to you. And of course, like Sushmita has said, our WhatsApp tip line is a great way for you to stay in the loop. We also have a channel on WhatsApp where we keep sharing prominent or popular fact checks of popular claims, and so these are all great ways for you to stay connected. And yeah, I think we're done with the update. Thank you, Sushmita. And for the next edition of the Factly Digest, we usually do this once in 2 weeks, but the next one will be 3 weeks later on 2nd November, which is also a Thursday around the same time, 6 p.m. in India, because 2 weeks from now is the Dasara holidays in Telangana. It's a big festival here, and we do have holidays in our office at the time as well. So we will see you the next time, and again, festival times are around the corner, so there's likely to be a lot of misinformation on that front. A lot of fake schemes will probably come up saying this company is doing a giveaway of a mobile phone and all that. So they're probably just looking to steal your personal data. Don't give in. Or again, always look out for these little red flags, spelling errors, or unverified numbers, and scammy looking websites and all. Even if it looks authentic, make sure that you check and make sure that you're not giving into any kind of fraud, because if it's too good to be true, it probably is too good to be true. So don't always stay alert is what we have to say. And yeah, follow us on social media at Factly India. Read our articles. We will be the articles that Pavitra spoke about regarding women's representation will be updated in the description after this live. and they are also, as you can see, included in the live chat. And so read these articles, read the fact check articles, watch the fact check videos on YouTube and Instagram, and stay ahead of on all these counts. uh, I think with that, we've come to the end of this edition of the Faculty Digest. Thank you so much for joining us. And we hope to see you the next time on the live, of course, and also through the work that we put out on all our channels, including YouTube and social media. Thank you.